You know what I'm saying? It was like, oh, Anyway, hello, everybody. We are on Revelation 13, and we're going to get to it. So, without further ado, 13. And I stood on the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast coming up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his 10 horns 10 crowns, and on his heads names of blasphemy. You have to keep in mind that the Israelites were not really, they're desert people. So at the very least, they were kind of like, about water. And probably more than likely, they didn't really care for it. So, yeah, so that's from what I've kind of gathered. And so imagine them not really, having a good opinion of water, and then seeing this, if we're taking this literal, which I tend to do, seeing this huge monstrosity come out of the water, they're not probably going to be too keen on hanging around and having tea and crumpets with it. And the beast I saw was like a leopard, and his feet were like the feet. Oh, by the way, we're talking about the heads and the crowns and all that jazz. Remember, crowns represent power and authority, okay? And it's surmised by a lot of people, and I tend to agree that each of the 7 heads and the horn, I think horns is authority and crowns is power. Might be vice versa. Anyway, each of these different heads represents in the past nations that have jacked up Israel, or messed with them. And if you go down the rabbit hole reading about this, kind of sounds like Leviathan. Remember, it is a single man too, though. So we could look at 2 Thessalonians, but we'll see. Maybe it's not really super, And his feet were like the feet of a bear, and his mouth like the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his throne and great authority. So the devil is given the Antichrist. Oh, here, I'll just keep reading.
So the devil is the dragon, right?
Yeah. And I saw one of his heads as having been slain to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the earth marveled after the beast. That's interesting. I always wonder how that's going to play out. Right. Well, first off, is it really going to be a dragon? Well, no, I mean, the dragon is the devil, but the Antichrist is a man, and the Antichrist...
Yeah, there's the Antichrist is the man and the false prophet.
Yeah, and I think the Antichrist, though, is the one that suffers the wound and survives.
Yes. Yeah, he does.
So I think, does he transform from the creature that comes out of the sea into the man, right?
Who, the...
Antichrist. That's what it kind of leads to here. Because, remember, this is the beast that comes out of the sea. This isn't the devil. Remember, the devil gave the beast his power.
Is that the false prophet?
No. This is the Antichrist. That's right here.
Antichrist?
So he's got to transform into a man at some point, I guess.
Or maybe that's just like figurative speech, like he's like a beast.
It could be, but then where did he get the vision of 10 heads and crown? You know what I'm saying? Where did
Can we come in now?
No, I'm making a video. Beat it, yo. Where did the imagery come for that? I kind of wonder.
I'm not sure.
Unless I'm missing something,
which
is entirely possible. Anyway, and they worshiped the dragon who gave authority to the beast. Yeah, see, that verifies right there.
Wait, they worship
the dragon, the devil, who gave authority to the beast.
Yes.
So definitely at some point he must transform into a man.
Or it's just a figure of speech.
Or it's just a figure, yeah.
Yeah, which, I mean, it can be symbolic.
Of course. Yeah. And they worshipped the beast, saying, who is like the beast, who is able to fight with him. And he was given a mouth. Oh, there you go. Speaking great matters and blasphemies. I think literally he must have been given, well, I don't know. And he was given, great. Given it, definitely, everybody definitely have kids. It's really an awesome time.
Yeah.
Given authority to do so for 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemies against Elohim, to blaspheme his name and his tent, and those dwelling in the heaven. And it was given to him to fight with the set apart ones and to overcome them. That's us. Probably don't want to be around when this happens. And authority was given him over every tribe and tongue and nation, and all those dwelling on the earth, whose names have not been written in the book of life of the slain Lamb, from the foundation of the world shall worship him. So, if we read this correctly, remember, Yah has already sealed, right, at this point.
Yeah,
I remember. Right.
144,000.
He sealed his people, okay? So they're, kind of like first row tickets to the end of the world. It sounds like they kind of like the Israelites in Egypt. They were unaffected by all that was going on around them. So
that's a link.
But at the same time, though, what I find interesting is as we read on in later chapters, it still says that Yah's people are dying. Remember, the set apart ones are getting slain.
Well, the ones that are converting over.
That's what I think I wanted, because the other people probably think they're traitors and whatnot.
There's ones that are sealed at the beginning and ones that
and they don't get touched.
Yeah.
And that's what I was going to just say. So
Yeah.
good chance. Here you go, Beefster. You're with it.
Spirit.
Yeah. So if anybody disagrees with our sentiment there, or maybe has a reason why, you can back it up. Let us know. But that makes the most sense to me.
Me too.
Those dwelling there at the book of the slain lamp and blah, blah, blah. And if anyone has an ear, let him hear. He who brings into captivity shall go into captivity. He who kills with the sword has to be killed with a sword. Now, and here is the endurance and the belief of the set apart ones. Now remember, the endurance and the belief of the set apart ones, what that means is those who, and we've already gone over this, let's just check it out here, to 14:12, it's not even that far. Here's the endurance of the set apart ones. Here are those guarding the commands of Elohim and belief in Yeshua. So you are doing his laws, the Torah, and you accept Yeshua as your Savior and all that jazz. There is no debate here. There is none. There's never been any debate. Now, churchianity people, Paulianity people, whoever else will tell you, well, we don't have to do his laws anymore. That's bad doctrine. And the book confirms this a million times. Okay? So, but don't believe me, read it for yourself. But this had me a little confused for a while, I'm not going to lie, because if you're alive when all this is going on, and the beasts people come, let's say, to your neighborhood to round you up, can I not defend myself? Like, if I kill one of them with a sword, do I have to get killed with a sword? And I was really kind of troubled by this. But then I grew a brain, and I kind of checked out. Now, 15:2, Jeremiah 15:2, is a little vague-ish, but 43:11 is pretty slick. So let us turn there, and I think it gives us some answers here. So if we go to 43:11, and he shall come and strike the land of Egypt. Remember, this book keeps the old name, so Mistrium, bringing death to those appointed for death, and captivity for captivity, and the sword for those of the sword. Now, what he's saying is he shall come. Now, remember, Egypt was not treating the Israelites very well, multiple times. So, and they were the ones killing Israelites. They were the ones putting them in captivity, and they were the ones, who Yahweh had appointed for death. So, what I'm pretty sure that translates to is, once things get going, I do believe that the nations who are trying to bring the Israelites into captivity and who tries to kill them are going to get what they give, basically. Now, we also have in Revelation 3:9, does say that, the synagogue of Satan line, which I made a big video about, which I'm sure no one was happy about, but whatever, where he will make them bow down before, he'll make our enemies bow down before us, kind of in recognition, so again, if you kind of have a different take on this, let me know. And I saw another beast come up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb and spoke like a dragon. So that's the false prophet. And he exercises all the authority of the first beast in his presence, and causes the earth and those who dwell in it to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he does great signs, so that he even makes fire come down from the heaven on the earth before men. Yeah, everybody, you really need to dig into this book, and you really need to know the Old Testament so you don't get led astray, because it's going to get very confusing, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And he leads astray those dwelling on the earth because of those signs which he was given to do before the beast, saying to those dwelling on the earth to make an image to the beast who was wounded by the sword yet lived. And there was given to him to give spirit to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause to be killed as many as would not worship the image of the beast. So yeah, that's got to be those converts, the late converts, right? Because the sealed aren't getting it. The people who are getting it are the ones who are like, you know what, maybe I'm out of here.
Yeah,
I'm sick of the sores. I'm sick of getting,
Yeah, I think those are the ones that just convert over.
And he causes all, both small and great, and rich and poor, and free and slave, to be given a mark upon their right hand or upon their foreheads. Remember, the devil and the beast, there's no new ideas. They're copycats. They do everything that Yah does. Remember, Yah has his name, Yeshua's name, depending on what translation you go, one or the other or both, on our foreheads. And the devil's like, that's a pretty good idea, because, it's kind of like wearing a uniform. And
sounds like an amusement park
I
right up
know,
there.
jeez. And that no one should be able to buy or sell except he that has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Now that one is extremely scary to everybody, and
Yeah.
I agree, because even if you come out of her, my people, and even if you somehow have the health, remember, you have to be healthy enough to be able to farm. You got to be able to have the money to go buy property. You have to be in a place that gets good water and has good soil. You got to be able to have animals. You got to hope you don't get sick. You got to hope your neighbor doesn't turn. You have to have like a mutual assistance group, a community kind of. Bad news. That one's bad news, and I am not a fan, like a lot of people on YouTube right now, whose channels are claiming that we're at the end of the days, and I'm pretty shocked at how many people are doing that, because no one knows. And just because it's getting rough here doesn't mean, it might just be the fall of our nation. But anyway, it is interesting how the US dollar, which is the world's reserve currency, is losing a lot of value. And digital currency is the talk of the town. And the federal government has signed into law a couple different things that are going to propel us into that. So it is interesting. I will admit that, but just saying, 17's rough. And if you think you're in the middle of nowhere and you're gonna just, even if you do somehow can be almost self-sufficient, do you really think they're just gonna leave you alone out there? I mean, as soon as they get the other people kind of under control, they're gonna come out for the rest of us. I mean, so better hope you're sealed. Here is the wisdom. He who is understanding, let him calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Now, some, if you look down here, B, some ancient manuscripts have 616 instead of 666. 666 looks more ominous to me, so.
It does. It just feels like it.
Yeah, but if you gotta, just so you know, just in case. Some dude that fits every other description here, but doesn't have. He's got 616, and you're like, nope, it's not him.
Oh, I just remembered.
So hang on. So yeah, anyway, 13 wrapped up, and yeah, that wasn't too bad. That's what she said. So anyway, yeah, if you have any comments, and just let me know.